This video, I'm going to show you how I draw horizontal support and resistance lines. I have done a video on this in the past, but it was one of my first videos, so I thought I would do another one. This is TradingView. That is the software that I use for all of my charts. And then I have a separate broker where I actually trade. This is the daily chart. This is Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, and these settings are just how I set up my trading view. I don't like the grid lines. I don't like I like the black background, and I have these candles set up how I like them, how I think it's easy for my eyes to see. You don't have to stick to red and green, but you need to set up your charts to where it's easy on your eyes and you can see stuff really well. You need to play with all your settings. That's almost as important as where you draw in your lines. You just want your charts to be very clear and clean to your eyes so that you can identify those areas where price is forming an edge. So let's just start drawing in lines. Like I said, this is the daily chart, and I can see some decent lines. What I like to do is I want the lines to be at extreme price movements. So let me talk about that more here in a minute, but you want your lines to have multiple touches, at least 3 touches to be a valid line. So this is almost considered a touch, but this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a very strong line, and you can see it goes back even to 2018 where it was respecting it here. So this is a very good line. It's also very relevant to where price is currently. This is today, November 18th, 2020. If you start cluttering your chart, even if the lines are valid, but say there was a line that was way up here and then a line that was here, and you just start drawing in lines even if they're valid. I wasn't looking at where price was. I mean, it just makes your chart messy. So you can see here's where price is, but these are distracting and they're not even close to where price is right here at 79.5. So standard rule, and I don't always follow this, but I like to have a maximum of 3 horizontal support and resistance lines. So this is a good line, and really I probably would not have a third one in because price has been stuck in this range since May. So right now, these 2 lines, this line here and this line here, are the 2 most relevant. Until it breaks out and retests or comes up here to this line, there's no reason to have this line up here until price breaks out of this line because it's in this range. And same with down here. I wouldn't put a line down here yet until the price breaks out. You can, but just to keep your charts clean, I like to just have 3 lines in. Where you draw your lines, like I was saying earlier, the extremes. So this is an extreme where price came up and then it fell from this area. So this is an extreme. This would not be an extreme touch. It would over here because that's where price came up and fell. So just because, see, if I put a line in here, it is technically a valid line because it's touched here 1, touch here 2, touch here 3. It is a valid line, but it's not the extremes of where price has been going. This is an extreme. This is an extreme. This is an extreme. This is where price is getting to and reacting from. This line in here is a mediocre line. It's just not a what am I trying to say? It's not a strong line. It's a secondary line where price does react to it, but price eventually breaks it. It reacts to it, but it does not. It ends up breaking it whenever it goes through it. So you do still need to know those areas where price respects those types of lines, but normally I'll have those in on my lower time frames, like the 4 hour or 1 hour, because those charts you draw the lines in as you go. Same with the daily. It's just those charts, the turnover on your technical analysis is a lot quicker because it's a lower time frame. The charts are plotting more data, if that makes sense. So I like to go to the extremes. I like to keep my charts clean. I want at least 3 touches. And where you put the line in at, like if you want to try to put them in the open and close prices, or you can do it to the extreme levels, like right here on the wick, and you want to keep it the same. So I like to do open and close prices, meaning the body of the candles, not the wicks. And I find that on horizontal support and resistance lines, a lot of times you'll get into these little ranges, like right here. Oops, wrong line. Not ranges, zones. So this is really a zone where you can see right here, this line is going through an open and close, and then down here it's hitting a wick, and this line's going through an open and close. Over here it's hitting a wick. So the price is bouncing. It's this zone in between these two lines that I have here is really the support and resistance, not one single line. And that's another thing you need to be aware of too, is just these little zones where if you drew a line in and it's not being perfectly respected, well, there might be another line above it. So instead of this actually breaking it, it's really just going up to this next support and resistance line, which is technically the same area because it's a zone. It's not one defined line. And those are things, as you get more familiar with those zones, what I'll do is I'll just put one line kind of in the middle of the zone there, and kind of I can kind of see where the zone is. So just another thing to keep an eye out for are these zones when you're trying to draw a perfect line in there and you can't, it's bouncing to, you can put a zone in there or 2 lines or one like mine. Another thing that can help with the zones is going to the weekly chart. And so this is the weekly chart, same view that we had on the daily, and you can see it's a little bit less of a zone. I can draw through more open and close. Well, not really. It is clear though. It's not as defined of a zone as on the daily. So I like to go to the weekly to help draw in major lines, and then you can drill down to the daily and fine tune them, tweak them. But anyway, that is a video on how I draw support and resistance lines. If you have any questions, just comment below and I'll be happy to help.